Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gen Z Sanctum. Welcome back to Season 6 of the Gen Z Sanctum. I'm here, of course, with my friend Nathan, who's helping.
Hello.
Yes, as always. And as always, we've got another very interesting topic. But before we get into the topic, we always start with small talk. So, Nathan, talk smallly. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I got
Wow.
distracted because
Wow.
I'm turning
Wow.
into Brayden.
Yes, you are. Yes, you
Do I
are.
care? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Wow. Well, anyway, no.
Okay, so
Small talk.
we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with absolutely nothing. Yes,
Exactly.
it has been a very interesting week for me. I got stung by yellow jackets because it is indeed spring, and I squashed it and killed it because it
Nice.
hurt me and I hurt it.
Nice.
Maybe it didn't kill me, but
It's dead
yeah.
now. You should sting it back. Oh wait, that
I
doesn't work.
hate bees, wasps. I hate anything with stingers.
Yes. Me too.
But what's so weird is that you would think a sting from a yellow jacket would be like a little bit more like painful for most people. I mean, especially people tend to be quite allergic to just stings in general.
Uh-huh.
But with me, it just felt like somebody was taking a pair of pliers and just squeezing that like the lower end of my calf as hard as they can. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like that wasn't like so much. It was like, ow, what the frick is that?
Yeah.
That's what it was for me.
So you were
And
work
it's just like I think I actually got stung more than once because I felt it right away and I was messing with my pants. I was slapping it, I was squeezing it, and I felt another wave and I was like, what the frick is in there? And I pull my pants up and here comes the yellow jacket just walking off. I'm like,
Wow. I also hear you were working
and it's
on
been very boring.
on customer vehicles instead of any normal mail trucks.
Yeah, because one of the guys was gone for a while, and they didn't have as many workers
Mm-hmm.
to get as much stuff done. But they were supposed to have 3 mail trucks this morning. But apparently, all 3 of them had to get totaled due to rotten frames.
Oh wow. Okay.
Uh, yeah, all 3 of them.
Nice. That's well, it makes the job
Yeah.
easier for you, I guess, right?
Well, keep in mind, the less mail trucks we have coming in, the less money we make.
No, that's true.
So technically, not getting mail trucks is a bad thing.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
But also you don't have
hopefully
to
we can
work
get
on
some
them. Anyway.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So, um let's see. My week has been very interesting. There's been a couple of things going on with me, one of which I won't mention on the podcast because it's somewhat private. But um, yeah.
Oh, it's private. Tell me. Okay.
Okay, so basically, no, I'm kidding. I'll tell you after we're done. But yeah, no, full week for me basically. Yep, yep, yep,
Whole week of personal stuff because small talk is for that. Also,
yeah.
I found a new channel which I've been getting really interested. The first video I saw by her was
Er,
the
ooh,
the thumbnail was Ice Hotel, and I was like,
uh, okay,
what? I was like,
okay.
that's intriguing. So I clicked on it, and apparently in very northern Sweden, like in the Arctic Circle,
Uh huh.
there's apparently a hotel completely made out of ice that you can stay in. Like
Oh wow,
100% made out of ice. It melts in the summer and they rebuild it every year. And
wow.
it's not like a igloo, like the rooms are igloos. There are regular room. I want to show you the video because it's really intriguing. I really like it. There are regular rooms with like regular spikes in it, as in like, they're not spikes, they're more like pillars with like a curved top.
Yeah.
Just more like regular rooms. But then they have dedicated rooms to where individual artists carved ice sculptures to go in the ice,
Oh.
which I think is super cool. It was really intriguing.
Now imagine if you did that um like but in like Antarctica, like somewhere where it could be permanent or a little more permanent. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, from what I have done research wise, I think it can like determine on where you are.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not in Antarctica. I want to. It's not in Antarctica. It's very northern Sweden,
No, I'm
but
just
very northern Sweden is in the Arctic Circle.
right. I'm not saying like that's where it is. I'm saying wouldn't it be cool if they put it somewhere where it was more permanent?
Well, the thing is that if it's more permanent,
Mhm.
it's really difficult for humans to live there
Yeah.
because, like, okay, so what's the area in Russia that's like
Siberia?
extremely cold all the Siberia.
Yeah.
The that is people live there, yes, but it is extremely difficult
Yep.
living scenarios.
And people live in
So in
Antarctica
order
too.
for a hotel like the more as in like researchers,
Yeah.
like they want to be there with the penguins, snuggle with the penguin. Oh, so cute. Okay.
Wow.
But in northern Sweden, it's like right inside the Arctic Circle. There in the summer, it gets to like 50 plus degrees.
Yeah.
So it's not going to stay cold enough for it to stay there permanently. But even in Antarctica, it can get up to 50 degrees. So there really isn't anywhere that's like it could really go permanently. Maybe Siberia,
Yeah.
but mainly because a guy who lived, oh, it's some weird name. Like I don't even remember how to pronounce it. Something Yarvi is the
Hmm.
name of the town. Yukis Yarvi. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but apparently the guy who lived there, like I think it was like during the 80s or something,
Yo.
he wanted to find
Yeah.
something for like to attract people there, like tourists. Oh yeah, cool. I want to go hang out there for vacation or whatever. They do still have that. They do. I think it's kayaking down a river that is like right outside the ice hotel. But they wanted to have something also during the winter. So what they do is that
Jukkasjärvi.
a river that kayakers go on, they carve ice out of it to make the ice hotel.
Nice. It also I look yeah, I just looked it up. It looks really cool.
The ice hotel, yeah, it's really intriguing.
Because
The
it's made
only
out of
thing
ice,
is
Nathan. It's
that
really cool.
I
It's cool. I'm
know
making a joke.
it's
Okay, I'll stop.
cool. But apparently, there's also another related place that you can stay.
Uh-huh.
It's not necessarily a ice hotel. It's a little bit further, I think, east
Uh-huh.
of the ice hotel. But it's igloos. It's
Ooh.
glass igloos, but it's not like freezing weather. They are heated. But
Oh.
the only problem with them is that there's no privacy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So
Like
when you're at here, if you want to know what they look like,
I think I've seen something
search up
similar to that.
ice igloos
Yeah.
or glass igloos.
Like that's like you seen that the area of TikTok where like they're like it's playing like this really relaxing music, and it's like, choose the house you would stay in, or like, you have won $1 million, choose the hotel room you would stay in, like, that, those types of reels or whatever.
Yeah.
All of them have such big windows, and everyone's like, oh, 4, oh, 3 is really great, and I'm like, those windows are so big. What if you're trying to change clothes and just Sasquatches
Well, okay.
in the like in the forest with binoculars, like, hey, yo, what's going on over there?
Well, the only thing is that all those hotels are like remote, or like places are remote. They're not like these glass igloos are like, if you look up, search glass igloos,
Yeah.
should be the first image. They're like not far from each other. So especially at night when you have the lights on, don't look at each other.
Oh yeah, I just found out
Just
the whole top is made
yeah,
out of glass.
yeah. So the same lady who did the ice igloo also stayed in these.
Mm-hmm.
And later in the video, she starts talking about the privacy, and later she's like, "Yeah, I definitely flashed some people." I was like, oh, "Okay,"
I was gonna say, that's why I said, like,
but
Sasquatch in the woods with a pair of binoculars. You gotta watch out for that.
but she said that they were both walking out, and they glanced into a igloo. This
Mm-hmm.
was at night, and then all of a sudden, a guy just dropped his trousers. Oh, okay, we're looking away from that. Oh,
Bruh. Yeah.
yeah, not a lot of privacy. Which the most interesting thing is they got the suite, so they have a bathroom.
Yeah.
They
That.
okay. You
Yeah.
get a bathroom in every igloo, but theirs has a shower included. But I'm like, why not just like change in the shower? Because you can't. All the glass around the shower is like what do you want to call it? Like smoked. You can't see in
Yeah.
it. You can only see like a silhouette.
Yeah.
Like if you have that change in there, just be like,
Yeah.
are you trying to be like, hey, look at me, I'm gonna flash?
I was gonna say, like,
Like,
imagine you go there, like, oh, like with your family. Oh, we're gonna have a nice, relaxing weekend. Our family's gonna, like, really, like, family friendly vacation. You just step out your front porch, and you just look across the way, and there's just a couple banging. Like, it's just like, all right.
yeah, if you're gonna do that in that igloo, what are you doing? Because there's so many activities that you can do. Like there's an ice dunk and a steam sauna that you can do.
Nice.
There are uh dog sleds that you can do. There's multiple other in the video. There's like she explains like all different activities. I'm like, if you feel like you need to be doing that, why did you spend this much per night to do this? Why? Use your time wisely. So you just stare at your partner and you're like, you know what I want to do tonight? I know we have other stuff booked, but hit the bed, baby. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. No. That would be weird.
But I'm
Just
like, really?
yeah. I don't know. Uh. Wow. Very interesting. But here's an interesting thing. Um, are we ready to move on to the main topic? That's the main thing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting main topic. The main topic is times you have or almost have gotten in serious trouble. So
Oh.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna be exposed here a few
okay.
times.
So I'm gonna tell you the story that came to mind that made me think of choosing this topic, and then I'll let you tell a story
Oh, boy.
about it. So I want to tell you the story of how I almost got in trouble with the vice president.
Vice president of what?
The United States.
How?
I told you
Out of all people in this world, you are getting. Oh, okay, all right. I gotta hear this.
All
I
right.
gotta hear this.
Yeah, no, this story this story.
Fire away.
So this is the story of how I almost got taken down by the private security of the Vice President of the United States. So, um, okay, so let's rewind. Let's rewind back. This is probably November or December of 2016. So, Trump has been voted in as the president, but he hasn't gone to Washington yet to be the president because the voting happens in November, but then in January or whenever is when the actual transfer of power happens. So,
Yeah.
Vice President Mike Pence is the vice president elect because he's been elected, but he hasn't gone into office yet.
So you got in trouble, almost got in trouble by Mike Pence.
I almost got in trouble with Mike Pence. Yes.
Wow.
So that
you must have had to do something really bad to.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you this story.
Remotely close to.
Let me tell you this story. So, that October, if you remember, in 2016, I went as a detective. So brown fedora and trench coat was, I think, the basic stereotypical detective outfit. So the trench coat that I had bought was a really nice coat. It was really nice shape. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to show this coat to my friends. So I'm going to wear it to College Park Church, which we were going to at the time. Mike Pence was also attending this church. So, so one Sunday in late November, early December, I show up at College Park Church. I got a beard. It is, so I look older than I was. I show up in a brown fedora and a trench coat, a long trench coat. So they got.
Okay, may I ask why you wanted to show up in a fedora and a trench coat to church?
Because I thought it looked cool.
To be frankly honest, it may look cool, but you see somebody walking into a church like that, you are immediately suspicious.
So this is where the story gets interesting. So, so we show up, and I guess I don't know if the vice president right when he gets elected gets his motorcade or whatnot, but at the front door there's 4 vehicles and a bunch of security guys plain clothes and uniformed standing around. They don't have metal detectors, so if I wanted to have hidden something in my trench coat, I would have just been able to walk through the front door and nobody checked. So bad on them for that, but no, thankfully I was not inclined. But no, I walk in, and so they were inside the sanctuary. So out in the atrium, there's dozens of uniformed and plainclothes security officers. As soon as I walk in, because my dad works at the church, so he gets a security radio, and he's tuned into the frequency that all of the security people are in. And as soon as I walk in, I start walking around. I'm still wearing the fedora and trench coat. Security people just start doing that thing where they put a finger to their ear and looking at you, I'm looking at you, but I'm not making it obvious I'm looking at you. And they start busily running around like something's about to go down. So So, Nathan, bear in mind that I was young at this point, so I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, hey, this is a cool coat and hat. I'm going to wear it to church because I have nowhere else to wear it to.
Why did your parents not stop you? First of all, your dad works with the security at the church. Why did he not say, hey, this is not a good idea? Or your mom could have said, this is not a good idea. This looks really suspicious in church.
Because they didn't. I don't know why, but they just didn't. And so this is
maybe they're just all right, we're going to see how this is going to go.
I don't know, but no. But yeah, nobody there was no at the door. Nobody was like, hey, yo, can you open the coat for a second? Can we wave a wand over you? Can you nobody? They just let me walk in. So if I had Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Terminator style walk. I could have just walked into the sanctuary with a machine gun hidden under my coat and done some serious damage to democracy. But no, didn't and never will intend to. But um no, but seriously, so eventually after a while one of the officers walks up to my dad because my dad's hanging out with me and he's like, they go away and they have a whole conversation. I had taken the trench coat off at this point with the fedora and placed it like on a coat rack with the hat. But yeah, I came back and I was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And my dad was like, you were kind of in trouble for a while because I didn't know because they don't tell my dad this stuff, but he was like, yeah, but the vice president elect is here in this sanctuary, and you walked in with a fedora and a trench coat, and they just thought it looked a little bit suspicious, so you almost got like pulled aside by them. So I just basically explained to them what happened, but maybe like carry the coat and the hat out when we leave instead this time. And I was like, oh, okay. Bear in mind, again, I'm a child at this point, like a young teenager. I have no idea what any of this means. So I just thought it was a cool coat and hat. But yeah, no, that's the story of how I almost got in trouble with the vice president. Very fun story.
Wow.
Oh yeah, very fun story. I think back on it.
More
fondly.
like this proves that you're an idiot.
So Nathan, frick you. No, I'm kidding. All right, no. But yeah, no, I think.
All right, so I've got a really good one.
Okay, let's hear this.
Why,
one.
do you have more to yours?
No, I was just gonna say like that's a story I think back on fondly.
All right, so I got a pretty decent one.
Okay.
So this all started with, we used to be able to keep our devices in our room long time ago. Actually, sorry, no. We all had to plug them in downstairs next to the refrigerator.
Yeah.
This was at my parents' house.
Yeah.
So we did that for a while. I got my first tablet by then.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it would be a really cool idea. I'm like, for whatever reason, being on my devices and watching YouTube at night was really cool.
Because you had not.
So
you had not heard of
this
sleep
is how extreme it got to.
Okay.
Yeah. This is how bad it got to.
Okay.
So the house has a lot of old flooring, so it's really squeaky.
Yeah.
And I found a way to walk around the house without making the floor squeak. Because if you made the floor squeak, the parents would be awake. That's how extreme it got to, is I figured out exactly where to step to make sure that I didn't make any noise.
Bro, Dark Souls style memorized the attack patterns.
So I did this about 10 times, and I would be downstairs for a good 2 hours.
Wait, hold on a second.
I went into the...
So you went downstairs and you watched the videos downstairs. You didn't get your device and bring it back upstairs to your bedroom.
No, I did not, because I wasn't that smart back then.
Oh, okay. So you would just...
We will get back to that. We will get back to that. I did in the future do that.
Okay.
But... So I would get my device, I'd take it, and I'd walk into the bathroom and close the door.
Oh, the downstairs
and
one?
I knew. Yes.
Yeah.
And I knew something had happened because I'd close the door and I just sit there silent.
Oh.
For like, no joke, like either 5 or 10 minutes.
Light on or off?
And then all of a sudden I hear a squeak. No, light off. And all of a sudden I hear a squeak.
Ooh.
I'm like,
oh, crap. It's probably just Gary again. Let's be honest.
Squeak.
It's probably just Gary coming to check on you again.
And then I hear footsteps coming down the stairs, and I'm like, no, not here, somewhere else. And I hear footsteps coming to the bathroom. I'm like, well, I'm dead. And then the door opens, and it's my mom, and she, of course, has the face of like, you're the worst child I could have ever asked for. I'm going to kill you now. And I'm like, I know I can't do that here. So I give it back to her. She's like, I'm going to keep this. You've lost it for like, I think it was like a week. I'm
Bruh.
like, okay. I get it back. And apparently I did not know how to learn my lesson because as soon as I got it back, I started doing the same thing all over again.
So, like you said to me during the story I told, so apparently you're just dumb.
Keep in mind, I think I was like 13, 14.
Yeah, I was about 13 or 14 when I did my trench coat thing. So, I think we were all dumb at that age.
So, as soon as I got it back, I started doing it again. But I'm like, it's going to be so much better because I'm going to be so much quieter. And I would even, not suspiciously at all, walk through the house and find the floors that do not make any noise during the day. So it looked like I was just prancing along like a ballet player, freaking through the upstairs and downstairs and trying to figure out where the floors don't squeak. And my mom would occasionally ask me, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
Nothing.
"Walking weird."
Nothing. Just walking. Yeah. Yeah. But also, Nathan,
So I figured out a little bit of my.
bear in mind, you're trying to do this while also, like, you're, 13, 14, so you're doing this while also weighing maybe 110 pounds. Imagine trying to do this.
Maybe.
Imagine, like, I would not be able to do that because, like, imagine a guy that's, like, 250. I was at, like, hold on. When I was 13 or 14, I had already hit like over the 200-pound mark. So imagine a guy that's like twice your weight, so like 210 pounds trying to do this. Probably wouldn't work.
Squeak, squawk, squeak, squawk.
I don't think that would work. Like, especially now, near 300, you just take a step and like the whole house just wakes up, pretty much. So
The whole house is like, blah, blah, blah.
He's awake.
It's like all the movies where there's that big thumping sound whenever somebody's walking around or something.
Yeah. No, I would.
So
not be able to
anyway,
sneak around.
I start doing it again because apparently I don't know how to learn my lesson.
Wow.
So I don't remember how many times I did it, but I did it a few. I did it a few times.
Wow.
And this story could go on for way too long because this kind of idea with me lasted for 3 years.
Wow.
And it all transferred to different devices, different areas of the house. So I probably got caught like 3 or 4 more times before my mom's like, okay, we're not keeping devices here anymore. We're going to keep them in our bathroom and we are going to account for every single one before you guys go to bed. And my sister's like, why do I have to abide by rules? My brother's so stupid.
Yeah, Megan would do that.
So,
Anyway.
well, no, my brother did the same thing.
Oh.
They were both like, why do we have to abide by these rules? No, we all need to abide by the rules. And they're all telling me, I hate you. I'm like, I'm the problem child.
Yeah, no, you can't do that in my house.
So
You can't do
then
that
I
in my
figured
house.
out a way.
You can't do that in my house. If your parents lay down the law, why do we have to abide by these rules? And you've lost it for a month. Good luck. Good luck, kid. Don't even question my authority. That was what was like at my house, basically. So we were like, whenever we got a law laid down, we were like, okay, because if we questioned it, they'd give you that look like, are you questioning me, boy? Essentially. So, yeah, no, we learned not to question.
So this went on. So now the devices are in the bathroom, and every single night I contemplated, how can I get a device into my room without my parents knowing?
Imagine you were an idiot enough to try to sneak into their bedroom at night. They just wake up and there's just
Believe it or not, I got away with it for actually a while.
Oh, okay. They just sleep really heavily or something?
That's how bad I was growing up. No, I'd wait till I'd watch the clock. Wake up at like 2, 3 in the morning to sneak into their room and grab a device and walk out.
Now, did you do it standing or did you do it on all fours, like to avoid them like looking over and seeing just a
No, I did
tall,
it. I
dark
did it
figure standing
standing.
there? Okay, like imagine your mom just woke up and
I did it
just
standing.
the a tall, dark figure's just standing like hunched, like not moving. Like, does he see me? Does she see me? Like, if I don't move, they don't see me. Like you're doing that weird thing where your arms are up in the air. Like, if I don't move, they can't see me.
But
No.
anyway, I get away with this for a few times, but my parents eventually catch on to me. And then they're like, "You've lost this for a month." Gosh dang it.
So we were having phone calls this whole time, right? On the
So,
home phones, like while all this was happening, right? We were doing
yes.
like the yeah.
Yes.
Remember when landlines were still a thing? Dang. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
continue.
But anyway, so I keep getting away with it for a while, and then I get an iPod Touch. And I'm
Ooh.
like, yes, a smaller device to hide.
Yes. Anyway, did you ever try to
But
convince?
anyway,
Did you ever
that
try
was
to?
a
Did you ever try to convince your parents, like, oh, this device, no, it can't do all of the things that an other device can? Did you ever try to do that? Like, oh, I can keep this one because it's just for music. It doesn't actually go on the internet or do any of that stuff. Did you ever try to pull that?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know me. I tried to pull it
Oh
a few
yeah,
times.
no,
Never worked.
yeah, I did
But
that. I did that with some of my original tablets. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, this is not an Amazon. This is like an Amazon Fire tablet. It doesn't have a browser, Mom. I can assure you. It only has this music app and maybe this other game. But no, it can't go on the internet. When simply I just didn't flip to page 2 on the tablet to see where you can see the internet browser app. But yeah, no, that worked for me a couple of times, is just being like, oh, Mom, I'm just going to keep my music on this and this one game. It doesn't actually have an internet browser. Okay, I'm going to search up freaking big boob. No, I can't. I don't know. But like,
wow.
essentially, yeah, no, that worked for me a couple of times. But no. Anyway.
But never worked for me. But now I got an iPod Touch, which now has parental controls on it, so I don't have access to YouTube. Keep in mind, I didn't have access to YouTube or anything like that till, oh boy, like 2013, 2014.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 20 years old, and I was gonna be like, "That's cap."
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
I'm kidding.
But I had my ways to get around it.
Oh, I'm sure you
So
did.
there were parental controls on the computer. Yeah, I was tech savvy. I found out every single way I could to get onto YouTube, and I found ways.
Did you
I found
ever?
ways to get onto YouTube,
Did you ever find
and I
out?
did.
Did you ever find out that like the password to turn parental controls off on the device?
I did.
Oh, wow! All right.
Yes, this is how bad it was. This
Okay,
is how bad it got
you
to.
were full blown
I
like.
learned the password, but then when I tried to change, when I
Oh.
tried it with sucks, because Apple knows that. So whenever I'd ask my dad to disable something, he'd be like, "Why is there a failed attempt?" I was like, "I don't know. There's no way that could have been me."
Bro, your dad probably knew. He was like, uh huh, uh huh.
Oh, he knew. He knew. I was trying to bluff. He was like, "Really? You think I'm that stupid?" Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, okay.
I didn't do it.
Wow.
So whenever they figure that out, I lose it for a week, and I'm like, I hate this. But then here's the funniest thing. I
Yeah.
secretly made an Instagram account, like
Ooh.
I think it was 2014, 2015,
Was
sometime
this
around there.
was this the
And here's
same
the
one you
funniest
have
thing.
now, or is it a different one?
Yes, yes, it's the same one I have
Okay.
now. And my parents found out this was like 8 months after I created it, and they're like, they've gotten to the point where they're like, oh my gosh, fine, you can keep it.
Ha! So you wore them down after a while.
Yeah,
Dang.
pretty much. And then I got YouTube, and then my parents always thought, oh, I watch some of. I'm like, I watch weird stuff on YouTube, but it's not like the inappropriate weird. It's like that's the why would you want to watch that? Like, cause I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse my interest on YouTube,
You
because
know,
you see like
you know,
a bunch of weird videos. You see what one genre of videos one week, you see another genre of videos another week. You see different genres each day, and you're like,
yeah,
what videos do you watch on YouTube? Videos that I want to watch.
exactly. You just like have you ever done that thing where you get your device, you try to watch it in the middle of the night, but you forgot that you left the volume all the way on high? So,
Yes, I have done that.
so you-
I brought up YouTube on my iPod, clicked on a video. Hey guys, welcome.
so all your parents.
And my heart would be pounding out of my chest at full volume. And then, like, no joke, 5 minutes later, thump, 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 thump. I'm like, ah.
Ah, frick.
So I turned the iPod off and I tucked it inside the pillowcase.
And you acted like you were asleep. You went with your mouth hanging open to be like, I'm asleep. Don't look at me. I'm asleep. Definitely wasn't
I'm
me.
asleep. Then I hear the door open, and then I hear the door open, and I'd like act like I was asleep. Like, what? I heard something in your room. What? My
What?
dad turns on the light. Oh, I'm tired. You woke me up. When in fact he did not. So he lifts up my sheets, lifts up the pillowcase, and one time I wasn't smart enough to tuck it inside the pillowcase. So he
Yeah.
lifted it up, grabbed it, and like,
That's mine tonight.
really? So then he'd take it back to my parents' room. My dad would be like, "You're gonna lose it. I don't know for how long. I'm gonna discuss with your mom on how long you're gonna lose it for." And then my mom would come stomping in the room. What the frick are you doing?
So yeah, okay, this sounds fun. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Do you want
And then after I got access to all the stuff that I wanted,
Yeah.
I became the good child. After I got access to Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, the social media that I wanted, and they saw I didn't watch bad stuff on YouTube. They're like, "Hey, you're fine, cool." And then all of a sudden, I become the good child, and everybody else is like, "What the frick are you doing?" No, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
Did you ever find what? Because here's the
yeah,
thing.
I was a problem child growing up.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I did some of the similar things, but I had to find ways of doing it in such a way that it wouldn't leave a trace. Because the things I would watch would be the problem. Like that was what I did. But
So you would watch that stuff. I would just want to get on YouTube because I
Yeah.
want to watch YouTube.
nah, I was a hormone-filled teenager, and I needed to.
Wow.
As they say, bust nut. Anyway, no. Moving on. But no. Do you want to tell them about the time the time you got in massive trouble when you snuck your tablet into the tent when you came over that one time?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so apparently my parents were super strict and they're like, you need to turn your devices in. Like they were hesitant for me to even bring it with it.
Yeah.
And there's a video. I still wish I had it.
Yeah.
But it was a video of we're going down the highway, we're going down the highway, we're going down the highway, and we're gonna hit a big building or whatever I said after.
It was one of those like OG like 2013 driving apps with like where you could drive a car around like you hit
And
something.
it was filmed with one of the worst cameras ever.
Yeah, wasn't it? Filmed...
So even though it was dark out and the screen was at a higher brightness, the video was so grainy you could barely see the video.
It was filmed on your iPod Touch, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
And it was so dark that it was so grainy, like blue. And you know how when a camera gets like dark enough, everything turns like blue and green.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
Then, like my mom tells me, you need to turn your devices in. And I'm like, okay, I turned them in. And then when your mom looks away, she accounts for both. I'm like, I take the tablet, run.
Yeah, no, you were like, here's my like,
run out.
Yeah, no.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna expose you for a second.
Wait,
So
no,
when
hold
I
up.
when
All right,
I
I'm muting Nathan. I don't want him to expose me. I'm kidding. No, continue. I
yeah.
don't care anymore at this point. No.
But anyway, so when I took the tablet out, we were both like, "This is such a great idea."
This is such a great idea.
Of course, we're that dumb people like, "This is such a great idea." I know we're not supposed to, but this is such a great idea.
Yes.
So we stay up till like about 4 in the morning.
Oh,
Then
yeah,
we go to
no.
bed,
Oh,
and then we
my.
get inside,
Yeah.
and your mom's like, "Where was your tablet?" I'm like, "I
Oh,
turned
what
it in."
tablet? Yeah.
No,
What?
you didn't.
No, what tablet? What you talking about?
Then and then all of a sudden, here comes Nathaniel turning to the other side, so he doesn't. It's like he's part of the conversation. Like, yeah, you should have really turned it in last night, Nathan.
Oh,
You
yeah,
said something
I
along
turned
those
you
lines.
in. I turned you in. I was like, yeah, Nathan, you
Yes,
really
you
should.
did.
I caved. I did.
You wanted to sound all innocent.
I was like,
You wanted to sound all innocent because you knew what would happen to you if you were on.
oh yeah, no, I caved because Mom was giving me that look like, you will live on bread and water for 5 weeks if you don't tell me what happened. That was the kind of look she gave me, and I was like, all right, I confess, he did it.
So when I get home, my mom's like, "So you didn't turn your devices in?" I'm sorry. You lose it for 2 months.
You were so mad at me for like
I was so mad.
the next
I
2
started
weeks.
blaming you for literally everything.
Oh, yeah.
It was Nathaniel's idea. He's the one who told me to do it. He's the one who brought it out there. You know, all that
Yeah, all of that
stuff.
stupid stuff you do as kids, where you're like, oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And we got so fed up with each other that we didn't talk to each other for like 3 weeks.
That was another stupid argument, and like that was almost as stupid as like, oh frick, what's a modern what's a modern? I don't know. Like I don't know. Is the oh frick? I don't want to bring up something that's too fresh and then have it be like Greeks, but never mind. But you know, it's just one of those like really stupid things that shouldn't have divided us for as long as it did. But you know,
No.
but then again, then again, part of it was my fault. I didn't stick with you. I caved, and I was like, yeah, he took it out in the tent. He did that. I didn't stick with you and be like, no, he did turn it in. What are you talking about, Mom? No, I was like, nah, he totally took it out to the tent. He did it.
Yeah, so this whole thing sneaking my devices into my room went on for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
And then I finally got the fresh, like, I have my devices in my room.
Yeah.
When I got to college.
Wow.
That's how long it took.
Yeah, and now it's like, hey, you live in your own apartment, nobody gives a frick. But also, like, now now you don't want to be up at like 2 or 3 in the morning watching YouTube because you got work.
No.
You got, yeah.
I mean, I still watch YouTube at night. I still get to the really weird side of YouTube, which is where I found that video that I talked around during small talk. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through and I see this YouTuber, and I was like, weird.
Wow.
Okay, so yes, this went on for a while, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Nathaniel, do you have any more stories that you would like to expose yourself and blush over because it's so stupid?
Well, have you? I have a similar story to that. But it's a yeah. So Nathan, have I ever told you the Angry Birds story?
No.
Okay, so I got this old like, you know, those off-brand tablets that it's not an Android, it's not an Amazon, it's some like weird like Android-esque
It's like one.
operating
It's like
system.
one of
Yeah.
those like super cheap.
Yeah. Like you can buy like $30 or less tablet that kind of runs on Android, but like it runs at like 15 frames a second or less. Like one of those really cheap tablets.
Like it's the worst tablet you could ever like have or possess.
Essentially. So I got one of those in blue, and I was like, that's what I asked for one of my Christmases or birthdays. I was like, hey, I want a tablet. And just like my mom would, she would be like, let's not get you this really good tablet. Let's just, if I pardon my audience, let's half-ass this and just get you the cheapest one possible because I can't be bothered to put in enough effort to get you an actually decent tablet. So here's one of the worst ones. Have fun with it, son. I hope you're happy. So, I just ran my mother over and with that
Wow.
conversation. But anyway, frick you, mother. Anyway, no. Tablet was actually pretty cool because it ran several apps pretty well. So like I'll talk about like some of the OG apps. So like Nathan, you remember like the OG Temple Run,
Oh
and
yeah.
like so let's see the apps I had on there were OG Temple Run, the original Angry Birds, Fruit Ninja, um whatever the one was where you crumpled up the paper crumple up where you have like the office in the storage room and you have to like toss the crumpled up piece of paper. Do you remember that one? I don't remember what it was called, but you could like hit someone in the
I
head
don't remember what the game was called,
or
but
something. But yeah,
yes, I do know what game you're talking about,
you
but
got
I don't remember the
anyways.
name of
Yeah,
the
you
game.
got office, you got warehouse, and like you crumple up a piece of paper, you get points for hitting stuff, and like throwing it. And anyway, uh, but I also got a couple of like variations of so I had the original Angry Birds, but I got the Angry Birds Indiana Jones, Angry Birds Star Wars. Like those really cool like adaptations or variations on the Angry Birds series. So,
Yeah.
I want to find this cuz this comes into the story. So, I was playing Star Wars Angry Birds at like 2 a.m. And here's the thing,
Wow.
I would get so invested into the game that sometimes I didn't hear when footsteps came outside my door. So I got like far into the game, and at 2 a.m. I look up. My mom's just like I didn't even hear her enter the room. I just look up and she's standing over the bed giving me "I will kill you" looks.
Ah,
I just look up and I'm like, oh, mom jump scare. She's just standing there, hands on the hips, like, I am going to kill you. What are you doing?
yeah, moms don't even have to do anything
They'll
but
just
look at
stand
you
there and look at you
to
like,
make you like a
yeah,
wet your britches.
essentially. So she was like, I am taking this and you are not going to see it for a while. And I was crying. I was like, no, please, I want to play more of my game now. You're not going to see this for a while. So, um, I didn't see it for another 3 years because mom would oftentimes take things and then forget to give them back, and I would forget about them. And then by the time she would give it back, it would be dead, and it wouldn't, when you plugged it in to charge it, it wouldn't come on. Like, it just sat for too long to be dead, and it just doesn't work anymore because it was such a crappy tablet to start with. So I lost
Wow.
about like the last third of Star Wars Angry Birds that you can now no longer find because of how old it is. So I never got to finish the game, and I really wanted to. So mother, you
Wow.
freaking dumb. Okay, anyway, but that was one of the many stories of how I got caught doing random stuff at 2 a.m. with devices.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah, that's me with YouTube.
Now, so like I again, like how I said, like you turn the volume up high, so like you would accidentally leave it on 10 volume, so your parents are just, what a nice night tonight on Top Gear off, and you turn it down. It's Nathan again. Yep. Should we go talk to him? Yeah. All right. He's losing it for what? How long? 5 weeks? Yeah, sure. All right. Let's go. You want to go this time, honey? Nah, I'll
All
go.
right, let's go take it.
Let's go take it. Let's go ruin his life. I'm kidding. No, but no, that would be funny. Just everyone else in the house, you leave it on 100 at night. Just everything is really quiet, and it's just ooh as you turn it down. Like that would probably make me jump if I was like trying to get to sleep in a quiet house and somebody in the next room had their device up on high for a split second while they Also, the quick clicking of buttons when you're mashing the down arrow on the volume thing. So turn as you trying to turn the as you're turning it down.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because here's the thing, you couldn't on my tablet.
Yes, I do know that feeling.
On my tablet, you couldn't click and hold. You couldn't click once and hold to lower the volume. You had to click to get one down, 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 down. You couldn't click and hold. You just had to click to get it to get the volume to go down. So, so whenever I had it up too high, I just was like on the button on top just to get it to go down.
Just
Exactly. Well,
wow.
That's pretty much all I had. And we're at
That's the biggest thing that I wanted to expose for me. Yes.
I mean, we're at 50 minutes at this point, so I think we're good to end it off here. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you guys tune in next week for whatever Nathan has in store for us. So tune in next time. Bye, guys.